Of course, my fucking apps are crashing because once I start talking about this shit on tech, weird stuff starts happening to me. Like ex's girlfriends reaching out and be like, why the fuck are you reaching out to my man? I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Why do I have the fucking DOD and the DOJ looking me up when I'm talking about teaching people how the fuck to look at campaign finance? So, anyways, we're trying to stave off a collective fucking ego death to actually take a look at yourself, you dumb bitch, as a society. And instead, they're going, I don't want to do that. No, too hard, too painful. Yeah, I know. I know. I ran from it for a really fucking long time. You know where that ended me? In the fucking hospital. Eventually, your body shuts down. And a lot of these problems stem from people not feeling like they ever had a safe environment. Because when I ask folks, well, what is safe? A lot of them don't have an answer. Say, I've never felt safe. Yeah, it's a fucking problem. Has gotten to a point where those of us who are, midlife age, astrologically, that's when the midlife transits come in and say, hey, you're a bunch of coping mechanisms in a trench coat. Is that still working for you? But our parents, they had affairs. They bought sports cars. Millennials were going. "Ah, ah." So, if you're around my age, this is a time when your Neptune squares Neptune, and you're like, what are my beliefs? What the fuck? What's important to me? What do I value? Where Pluto squares Pluto, and it's like anything that's dead, that's not working, it needs to be purged. It's a really interesting time for us. And I mean, we're the first generation who really started talking about mental health. So this is the first time we've even been able to broach the topic. But what's happening on the national stage, this shit show fuckery unfolding, is just a bunch of fucking lineage and childhood trauma manifesting in people with adult money and adult weapons. I'm annoyed. I understand why people are running from it because it's not fucking comfortable. I also understand what happens when you keep running from it. It will put you into the ground. I have nearly died several fucking times. Most recently of which was working on this past election cycle. If you've never heard of moral injury, it's when you keep making your body do that doesn't feel like it aligns with you. And eventually your body says, fuck you, I'm shutting down because I can't take part in this anymore. When you realize that the campaigns are using shame and fear and tactics that look a whole fuck of a lot like covert narcissism, and then you realize that all of the structures we live in, everything upholding this fuckery, is covert narcissism. Because white supremacy manifests as covert narcissism in the institutions we live in. It's the dismissal of anybody's reality that doesn't align with the truth, the dominant paradigm. It's chronic invalidation. It's promising resources and then not delivering. It's gaslighting. It's making you question your own fucking reality, and then you go, I'm the problem. I'm obviously the problem. Nobody else is saying anything. What the fuck? Like, this is me. This is me, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh, can we not see this? No, people can't fucking see this because the people in power structures, this is normalized. Authoritarian parenting, authoritarian behavior is normalized. James Dobson, the far right, was a psychologist. I don't know if he's fucking alive. He had a lot of influence on what kind of parenting decision, like what kind of parenting advice was given out. And he's the break the strong willed child and be seen and not heard, the fucking authoritarian parenting. So, yeah, of course, the people in power structures, in nonprofit organizations, in academia can't fucking see it because this behavior is normal to them. Well, this is just what it was like growing up in their household. This is what it's like with the person who's sharing a bed with them. So they can't see it because this is normal. But it's how everything is staying. It's upholding this fuckery. And why aren't people saying, what the fuck? Yeah, how many people look at our leaders and say, yeah, that reminds me of my dad. That reminds me of my church. That reminds me of my ex. Because authoritarian behavior is way too fucking common in white culture. And, all of this is going to be coming out. Astrologically, like Saturn, the planet of boundaries, restrictions, is in Aries. Aries is the I do whatever the fuck I want. It's the time for accountability. All of the fuck shit that's happened to us in the past, that is going to start tumbling out. Jupiter, the planet of growth, mindset, expansion, belief systems, just moved into Cancer. Mother, nurturing. Yeah. You want to know why you're feeling particularly raw? It's all of that childhood neglect and abuse that you experienced that you never fucking talked about and you never fucking dealt with, that is probably something that's been carried in your lineage forever. And nobody talked about it. Nobody said anything about it because it's not polite. It makes people feel uncomfortable. Oh, let's sweep it under the rug. Better seen than heard. Or, like, when I belch, that means that I am purging some anger. Usually there's fear mixed in with that. So, this behavior has been normalized. And white folks can't fucking see it because they're just like, this is normal. This is normal. Everything's, this feels right. We're in an abusive relationship with the system we live in. And how the fuck do you break that to somebody? It's kind of like all the therapists who, when you have to explain to somebody that neglect is a form of trauma, that just because you had a roof over your head and meals on the table doesn't mean that you got emotional attunement. It doesn't mean that you got your fucking needs met. And so much of white culture, we didn't fucking learn about emotions and connection and what it actually felt like to be safe. You've got a roof over your head, and what the fuck more could you want? A hug? A place to show anger, frustration without being fucking punished for it? Without being treated like a burden? Go do that somewhere else and come back when you're finished. Go splash cold water on your face and come out when you're looking pretty again. Go adjust your attitude and then come back when you're done. Because that's what was modeled for them. But when it's not safe to feel emotions, it'll fucking manifest in your life in other ways. So we have a society full of traumatized people who don't acknowledge the fact that they're traumatized because this has been so fucking normalized. And the childhood sexual abuse is going to be coming out in the next, I would say, probably 3 to 4 months. All of the fuck shit that people in power have been doing or that has been unaddressed. When Uranus moves into Gemini, this is going to be going head to head with all of the millennials whose Chiron is their deepest emotional wound. It's the thing that always it's like the, oh, that scab's almost healed. No, fuck, I'm gonna dig. Yeah, a lot of people, I think 1983 to 88, we've got Chiron and Gemini. Our deepest emotional wound is that we never felt seen, we never felt heard, we never felt understood. We felt like no matter what we said, nobody could ever fucking hear us. And that's going to be heading off with Uranus. Disruption, rebellion. With a whole fucking lot of millennials who are going, I'm exhausted. I can't fucking do this anymore. I can't keep playing the game. I can't keep people pleasing. I can't keep doing this. So we're at a point where we can just pretend that this isn't going to happen and let everything burn out of control like a fucking wildfire. Or we can try to maneuver it into a controlled burn. Because what is happening is they are rewriting the narrative for the vision of this country. And they are herding us all into that fear, shame. Oh, we'll be grateful that our overlords feed us when we. So instead of just trying to pull the emergency parking brake, going, God, we don't want to do that. Stop, stop, stop. What about proposing a different alternative that doesn't look like hell? Because while I am very comfortable in hell because I spent a lot of time in there, if we don't address this, people's behavior is going to continue getting more and more fucking erratic. And I can't deal with that. The energy is wild in the collective right now. I understand it. I'm tired. We can either deal with our shit on our own terms, or we're going to deal with it with a fuckload of chaos. I know which version I would prefer. I can manage the chaos. I've learned how to do it. I've almost died at least 5 times. Only one of which was by my own hand when I was 4 and felt so fucking abandoned that I jumped into the goddamn neighbor's pool. The rest of the times it wasn't at my hand. But we're not supposed to talk about this because it's not polite conversation. It would make so many people around you so upset. There are pharmacists killing themselves. There are veterinarians killing themselves. We can pretend it doesn't exist. Or we can say, okay, we're in a hellscape. This is the reality we're living in.